We are back.
What's up, people? It's James and
it's
Oris.
Oris, yeah.
And you're back to the James and Oris show on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share with your friends, comment on past episodes if you want, and also on this episode. And we'll be watching and reading. Oris, want to tell us the first story of the day?
Yeah. Who else but the the former prince? Is it the former prince?
He's still the prince.
I beg, please. He has said he's not doing it again, so please.
He's still Prince Harry.
The former prince, of course, remain Harry or Windsor, whatever. Anyway, so apparently, he's, of course, like everybody probably knows by now, he's I think he's already released the book, which was supposed to be about his old experience as a prince. back when he was back when he was a prince, back in the day when he was a prince. So yeah, and apparently the book is doing super well, according to a New York Times report. It has its first day sales. It's been more than Michelle Obama, a book, best-selling book. I think it was on Becoming. Yes, it was even more than Obama's book as well. I promised. I think both of them had.
So can we already say it's now a best-selling book already?
Of course, no. Of course, it's the best. Yeah, just in the first day, according to the New York Times, yes, across all formats, it sold 1.4 million copies.
So what's the fiasco around this?
It's a huge amount of money.
Exactly. What's the fiasco around this particular book, and the significance and what it means for Prince Harry and the whole narrative of the British Kingdom?
I don't know, as somebody who is not a royal expert, but I can say just a bit about it. So I guess the perspective is, of course, Harry and Meghan, his wife, deciding to leave the monarchy. And as a result of that, even before then, there was a lot of media reports about them, how bad they've been, all kinds of stories. People feel like Meghan has taken Harry away from his family, the American witch. There's all kinds of things people are saying about the wife anyway. And Harry himself, of course, it's his wife, and technically definitely he's on her side. So I guess for him it has been, okay, how can I reclaim some of this narrative? People say all of this about us, but let me tell the truth. At least what he's saying. It could just be a fact that the guy just wants to collect people's money, but you know what? That's aside. What they are saying publicly is that, the media, the royal family, the machinery behind the family as well, has said certain things, has put out certain information out in the public, and for them, they feel like they are at a receiving end of stuff that they were also part of. So this is Harry's attempt to say, he's given a bunch of interviews where he's trying to give his perspective on things, but also is that, the definitive thing is British anyway, is let us do a book on this particular subject. So some of the interviews have been well received, others maybe not so much, but I think leading up onto the book, there's been a bunch of interviews that he's been doing about the book and about what's in the book and everything. A few details have been coming up because they tried to keep the book up until it was released, but as with the media, they found a way to get copies, and so certain details have been linked from the book, apparently about how he lost his virginity, for instance, apparently behind a bar on the field somewhere, to an older woman, by the way. When he was a military officer, apparently he killed about 25 people, also a detail from the book. The fights him and his brother went when they were younger. Anyway, there's just a lot of details anyway that has been keeping this thing in the media, in the public space for a long time. So he's like, now that the book is out, at least he said what he needed to say. So certain things that have been put out there that he felt were unfair to him and his wife, he has found a way to correct it. Me, as a human being living in Nigeria, I've been thinking to myself that these people are smart, because I would not be surprised, by the way, if a little while from now, after, of course, man has done his heavy book sales, of course, like I said, they said 1.4 million copies across all formats in the first day. So if this thing keeps up, it means that book, and they said there's a rumor, by the way, that he received $20 million
upfront.
Oh yes, to publish the book. So hopefully, there's a chance, if I think these people's business sense is right, is that Meghan is going to write her own at some point.
So what would you say, what do you think is the why the rush to buy this book? Like, do you think, is it possible
humanity
that we've not heard
and gossip?
everything?
No, of course.
It's not possible that we've heard everything about the Harry and Meghan. Like, what else? What could
yes, of course. Finally, it is like from the horse's mouth.
I mean, they had this extensive and this expose interview with Oprah and everything.
But these people are not.
Like, and then there's a movie again on Netflix. What is that? So
the documentary,
the documentary. Sorry,
but the documentary. So it's like I guess again. That's why I say it's a business. End of the day, there's a part that's about reclaiming the narrative. That's the other story. That's fine. But also it's a business. So what apparently they had done is, okay, we have this story, which it looks like from the way the media is going about it is people are interested in this story. How can we monetize this story? I think that, I don't know if they started with a business manager or something, or they just knew it between themselves. But the fact of the matter is, look at what they did. They have I think Meghan has a podcast on Spotify, I think. Okay. They had the interview with, just after they left the monarchy, the interview with Oprah, which of course gave them a lot of
traction
exactly.
Yes,
between the two of them, they had that. Then they sold a documentary series to Netflix. I think they said about $100 million or something. That's what they paid. That's the rumored figure at the time. So there's that. Then now there's the book. My point is like, you have one story. You figured, okay, I can make a book out of this story. I can make a podcast out of this story. I can have a radio show out of this story. I can do this, just like what are the different media you can use. So I think the people who have been most successful now, just from the first sale, what's it called, reception or sales, first day sales rather, I think it's Penguin Random House that actually are the publishers. I think they are the ones who are probably going to make the most money from this thing, because I know that when the documentary came out on Netflix, people were like, it wasn't really catching. That was kind of boring. Yeah, exactly. People say it was kind of boring. So it means that it looked like for Netflix, they didn't get
as much as
they put in, if the money they said is true, it's 100 million, they put in a lot more money than I think the kind of traction that they wanted. I don't think they got it from that documentary. So in my head, the people who have done the best business here are, of course, the couple themselves, Meghan and Harry, who have of course raked in a lot of money, millions already from this thing already. Then again, the publishers.
Before that the documentary one came out, there was the press or news thing that came out saying that they were using some false clips from different places to promote the documentary. Yes. So do you think that would have been affected the...
No, I feel like people just said, the news just came into one ear and went out the other, because now people spend time.
For
people just like gossip. That's the thing.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes it's easy. I just hear from you, I watch you saying it to once you go and pick up a journal to want to read about
again, this is where you have to understand that the Western media, I don't even know if that is true, but I wanted to say that the West, especially the UK, there's still sales might be reduced now, but but people still read books. In the, what's it called now, in the US, in Europe, in the UK. These are all countries that publishers are still doing, maybe not as well as they used to do back in the day, but they are still at least fine enough to have readership. So you're right, if it was Nigeria, we don't know, but that's not even true. Didn't we hear that Toke Makinwa's book did quite well to when it was released years ago?
You've already you're saying, talking about gossip, people want to
exactly, yes. Know. The thing has been seen, so you're like, okay, finally, this guy has told us what he has now finally written what his own part of this story. Let us hear what he has to say. That's why you now realize why the UK are very reluctant to let the monarchy go. It is a big money spinner. So if one person in his own house or part of the monarchy before can sell this amount of books, imagine how the monarchy itself as an entity, as a machinery, how much money it is generating just by existing. So
let's move on. Let's talk about Peace Asigwe.
Super sad. I'm not really sure. I don't think the family told us what exactly happened.
No, I don't. I was trying to read that thing. And so, first of all, I didn't even hear anything about her being sick. I did not hear anything about her being sick. And then the next I just saw was that the rumors were peddling gradually here and there, but I saw we now saw like an official statement, by the family or from the family, telling us that she had passed. She passed on Monday, and it was so I didn't really get to read the whole the length of the statement. Yes, but I was just bottom line was that she had passed.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
was the bottom
however
line.
reason why she died.
So I didn't even see that because I have a number of friends in the film industry, and for a while there was a bit of a rumor that something had happened, you know, but people were going reluctant to even say who it was. It was like people were saying there was a death, but they weren't telling us who exactly had passed. And then later it became clear that it was Peace Asigwe, who is like being a huge part of the movie industry. She instituted the Amas, which of course is one of our biggest film awards on the continent, not just in Nigeria.
Yes.
So she has quite a heavy reputation and impact in the film industry, in the film space, you know. So yeah, it's just sad news. I would like to know what happened, but also it's not my business again, you know. So if the family has said, you know what, they're not going to detail the entire journey, that's entirely fine. All we just know is that it appears she was in a coma for quite a while before she passed. So yeah, just all I can say is may she find peace.
Peace, yes, may her soul rest in peace.
Yeah.
Okay, to some other brighter news.
Brighter news.
Because that was a sad one.
Yeah.
Ebuka. Okay, let me not start. Let me just say Ebuka.
Yeah, well,
But
Ebuka.
fans of Big Brother, Big Brother
back.
enterprise or
It's
Big
coming
Brother franchise, so to speak. We already know. I mean, you all already know that we're expecting Big Brother Titans. Yes. It's kicking off this Sunday, actually, 15th.
Was it this Sunday?
Yeah, so 15th of January.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's already here. So, and we already heard that it will be Nigeria. I don't want to say versus, it's Nigeria.
It is versus. Oh my God, it is versus.
Nigeria and South Africa, you know. I mean, fingers crossed. I don't know how much of I don't want to say a fan. You might not be a fan or follower.
I have to admit that I'm very little.
Yeah.
I'm a little elitist when it comes to stuff like this. So it's true. Yes. My sensibilities will not let me.
Like, oh no, I don't want Big Brother.
My sensibilities will not let me engage with this thing fully.
Very interesting.
But
whatever. I'm a Big Brother fan.
Clearly, but you know, but. This also be before. This could also be because this man is married, and so his wife is actually a fan, so he has no choice in the matter. When she puts it, you must watch. Me, I don't have that kind of thing going on. Anyway,
I almost auditioned for Big Brother.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But anyway, I think so. I have never really been somebody who has followed it like from the beginning. But you know, if you have a couple of friends, women especially, I don't think you can really escape this thing. You go to go and say hi to a random lady friend, and while they're on the TV, yes, Big Brother, you know, and somehow, just by diffusion, you get to know the names of people who are participating in a particular edition. And even if you escaped it in your lady friend's house, go online, Twitter. I can assure you that the day this thing begins, almost every day from then on, at least 5 of the top 10 trends would have something to do with Big Brother. So it's almost, you know, it's impossible to escape it. So even if I would rather be watching something else, I will still know about what is happening. Maybe not to final details, but I will still know. So
somebody will trend, something will happen. That
it's not. The thing is just by nature. I think it's the biggest show on the continent.
Absolutely.
So there's no way you can't escape it if you're in it. It's not possible to escape it, and I will not be escaping it too. In fact, I'm even thinking this year, like maybe just in the interest of looking for attention, one should even do something specifically around it.
Oh well, so I can tell you for free on the corner that I will be doing something about it. Myself and my partner will be doing it on Chicks and Jam Jam on YouTube as well. You can check it out.
Exactly.
But
so, yes.
one of the things, I mean,
I would take a more intellectual approach and maybe do a series of articles.
Whatever. You need to watch anyway to be able to tell, you know, directly.
Now, did you need to watch?
Oh yes.
You see clips on Instagram, you see clips on Twitter, you see whatever. You can just make an opinion out of all of those things.
Those people that will just be saying that Big Brother is a
we are watching it on Twitter. That's what we are doing.
That's
we are watching it on Twitter. Please don't pardon us.
Anyway, Ebuka LB Chendo will be co-hosting actually alongside
Lawrence Maleka. Yes.
Yes, Lawrence Maleka.
It's an African guy.
South African actor and TV host. Yeah.
I expect to see Sparks. I was saying to them earlier on radio, Sparks now.
Okay.
I was telling them on radio that one of the things about Ebuka, why he's been able to sustain his fame and not really get into scandals per se, is because nobody knows what Ebuka thinks about anything. You get Ebuka is pretty much like an
invisible guy.
He's like a pipe.
So Ebuka knows how.
By which other people.
Do you watch or have you watched?
I'm sure
you see
one or two of the eviction.
No, not the eviction, not the eviction.
Okay, wait, as a
TV.
Yes.
He asks some of the baddest, brilliant questions. He's a smart guy.
Yes, no doubt about the smartness. But I'm saying that people who are generally who we consider smart, some of the reasons why we consider them smart is because we know their take on certain issues, a particular perspective on whatever. But I'm saying Ebuka is the exception. You assume Ebuka is smart, but it's because he is interviewing people. It's not because you know what he himself thinks about anything. Ebuka will not tell you he's not cracking what's it called, jokes, or so to speak.
So you hardly catch Ebuka too on a red carpet answering questions or any technical questions.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying, that like nobody really.
So that still makes him smart. He just tries to hide himself. He doesn't want to.
I'm not doubting Ebuka's smartness. In fact, the reason why someone like me would say Ebuka is smart is not necessarily because of what I see about him on TV. It's because I know that back in the day, Ebuka used to write for This Day, and at least for the stage I was at the time, I thought he was a very decent
good
writer,
of course,
at the time, So that's actually why I have always like, okay, this is somebody who went to Big Brother.
Did you see what I was writing for This Day as well?
No, I'm sorry, James.
You didn't know what I was writing? You didn't know or you didn't see?
I didn't know and I didn't see.
Okay,
both
good.
of them,
Let me just let you know I was on the column on This
I have
Day
heard, James. I have heard.
for like almost 2 years or so.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so you haven't
but
been reading
yes,
so much.
but I. Anyway, I was attending the University of Benin at the time, studying pharmacy, by the way. And I used to buy the This Day newspaper on the weekends, and I knew that Ebuka used to write for This Day. Okay, I think it was This Day. Anyway, and yes, that's how I kind of okay, this guy actually has perspective on stuff. But I'm saying that since he became somebody who's as popular and on TV, at least the person who used to host whatever Big Brother was, what's his name, Osakodua,
Big Brother Africa.
He became Ebuka. Exactly. So and I'm saying now that yes, that
Ebuka was now hosting the one of Nigeria.
Yes, now
IK did South Africa generally.
Yes.
Ebuka now did.
Yes, now, but again, IK now finally even left the entire thing now.
Yes.
You don't really see
because he now went ahead to pursue his own personal things.
I don't think that's how the story went, by the way.
Okay.
If you speak to IK, I give you a different perspective of exactly how that whole thing with whatever happened. As you know, these are big companies. These are like specific individuals.
Yes.
They might have certain things they want to do.
Okay.
Or company might say, oh, you cannot do it, or you can do it, whatever it is. So I don't know that the story is as linear as, I want to do this thing, or I'm going to leave this thing. Because you don't know. Because Ebuka is still doing Robin Minds, even as he's on, what's it called? Now, even as he's on Big Brother.
And also doing one other cuts.
You get it. Also does it, exactly. So anyway, so it's just what do you want to do, and how the people you work with, how do they support you? So anyway, like I was saying about Ebuka. So Ebuka has that thing going on where you feel like he's smart because of, I think, the way he asks certain questions, because of how he carries himself. But I'm saying that on the level of like perspective and like deep insights, we don't really see that with Ebuka, because he feels like he knows his role is to be somebody who is who channels other people's thoughts through his own programs, not really his per se. So I think it's a good thing. But yes, I would want one day for somebody to go and trick him and put him on the other side and let him be the one who is telling us what
I can do for you is just maybe one day I'll introduce you to him so you can at least have a one-on-one.
Funny. I mean, on the interest, since all of us are showing up people who we know, I have Ebuka's number somewhere on this one, by the way. But somehow I want to interview him.
Have you seen my picture with him though in Johannesburg?
Here we go. Anyway, let's assume this man is not. Let's assume I'm not listening to what he said. Well, yeah. So I want to write a book. Well, I'm writing a book anyway, and I wanted to interview Ebuka for a particular section of it. But somehow,
so this is a shameless plug to let him know that just in case he stumbles on this show. So
No, actually, I told him. The thing is, we're not able to like find the exact time where he's free and I'm free, and then we can
make it happen for you if you want me to hook you up. Just
okay.
say.
James will make it happen. But anyway, the book, by the way, let me plug my own book now. Yes, I've been writing about Nigerian movies, Nigerian film, and Nigerian books or literary stuff for like 10 years. So I'm trying to compile all of that writing, not all of it, of course, selected pieces about it with some newer writings as well into a book that hopefully will come out either this year or early next year. But anyway, that's that. So yes, so Big Brother Titans is coming out, and as we know, from Sunday, the entire discourse, they will have some small politics, but a lot of Big Brother. I can assure you that's what we're going for. It's unfortunate because we used to say that because we're in an election year, we should be focused on elections. But I can tell you that
talking about the election, and we hope the show will end before the election. I think it should. It's supposed to be like a 30. I don't know. Let's see. I'm not sure because usually Big Brother used to be like.
Usually, we should say that
90,
what,
72
our
days
future will be determined by what we do with this particular election cycle. But knowing Nigerians and our own seriousness, Big Brother is Big Brother. So it's difficult to see how politics will not be the little brother to Big Brother.
Fingers crossed. Ikechukwu.
Yes. Yeah.
So Ikechukwu, I mean, some people, a lot of people watched him on his Instagram live where he was talking about what he went through recently or what he's been going through.
Yeah, having some kind of ailment apparently.
Yeah. And it's called. He's been battling with herniated disc and acute sciatica, yeah.
Which in layman's language, by from somebody who has a pharmacy degree.
Yes.
It just means that the lower part of his body has issues.
No, so this one in this case he said right side, not just lower side. The right side.
No, that is which. Okay, he said the thing paralyzes right side.
Right, yes.
But I'm saying that generally speaking, the sciatica, for instance, is like something that happens like around your pelvic
the back side, right?
Yes, your ass area. In fact, technically, they used to say that if you are not injected properly.
You can have that.
Yes, you can have problem with the sciatic.
You see, what we're talking on earlier, I was talking about, we don't know what exactly caused his own. And I said, when I was reading about it, it was my first time of actually coming across, this.
What happens when you did not study a medical degree?
Not just about not studying medical. When you've not had this kind of experiences, you don't have anybody that's
I know, of course, I get now.
So
I don't have anybody too, but I know because
you're in the medical field. So, but I was quite, what's it called? Enlightened when I was now reading. I said, oh, okay, wow. So, but what I did not read when I was going through it was the causes of this particular condition.
Yeah, I don't know this, but I don't know about Ikechukwu. Another thing about the whole medical space is something they call, let's say, idiopathic. What's it called now? Ailment. Okay. It just means that we can't tell what the cause is. It's a big English to just mean that the causes are not particularly identifiable. So I don't know if that's the case with Ikechukwu, and maybe I don't know, to be honest, he didn't say, so I don't know that we can guess what had happened. All just feels like all that we know is that at least his use of his legs are a little bit wobbly. Like an eye, he needs crutches, but he says he's going some kind of therapy, and so he'll be back. So get well soon, Ikechukwu.
We are rooting for him. One of the things I saw from him or about him not too long ago was when I was talking about his preference for natural hair, and he likes women to go with natural hair. And he got a lot of backlash or feedback from when he said it. People saying that, why did you do that? So that was part of the things. So, and this also happened around when he was also dealing with this particular should I say ailment? So that's what I saw before this particular one. I was like, oh wow, Ikechukwu was going through stuff.
You feel like the Nigerian men have attacked him.
Talking about attacks.
What's that Remina song? Wichi. Someone they do Wichi.
Let's talk about attacks. So one of the things I saw on Instagram lately was this girl. I call her what's her name? Something Mama. To Mama.
The comedian,
yes. That's also on, I think, Nigeria FM.
I think.
So she did this story about that Nigerian men. She doesn't understand how Nigerian men are looking at them now. That they've actually relegated them all the way down. That somebody that drives Sienna car, coming to maybe Toaster or something. Now when she sees somebody a man who drives Sienna, what comes to mind is a married man, is a family man. So you now come and be toasting me as So after a while, not maybe the next day or how many days later, she now came again on Instagram saying that she had like a really, really bad accident that would have, that damaged the car almost right off, and was now apologizing to people that people that drive Sienna cars. It didn't mean any harm. That in fact, at this stage, like maybe she's going to end up Sienna. So that's what just saying random about when people say they come back for you on social media. But hopefully by God's grace, Ikechukwu will feel better. He's not been doing badly at all. He's been doing, from music to movies, he's not been doing badly at all.
Yeah, no, but that's still a while ago. I don't think Ikechukwu has
any
been
recent one, right?
Yeah, I think things that I feel like he's been doing a show funny on YouTube as well, just like us. I think he interviewed interviewed MI. Those are the two that I remember.
Okay, moving on. So everybody, if you want to know who won what at the just concluded Golden Globes,
Yes.
awards. It's all over the internet. But one of the things that caught our attention was Eddie Murphy's speech.
Rather, I don't know. I don't know that I would say spoken Will Smith or whether, I don't know, man. I don't know. But yes, anyway, they're giving him a lifetime achievement award, and the crazy old man, I think it's 50. Is it 54 or whatever now? 60 something? I can't remember how old he is. I think it's
something. It's not 60. It's not 60. Yet.
When he did Raw, he was 22 or 23. He's back 20, and this was in 1990, 1992, which is 30 years ago. So yeah, 50s. He's 50 something. I think 54, 50 something, 58. Whatever it is anyway. Eddie Murphy had the joke about how the three things.
Oh, he's 61.
61. Okay. Oh, wow, okay. 61. Yes. Okay. So that's 24. 25. Okay. Anyway, let me stop doing the math in my head. But yes, he made the joke about how he has 3 tips for longevity in the music business, in the business, in the film business. It's what's the 1? Pay your taxes.
Yes.
2, mind your business. And 3,
and keep Will Smith's wife name
out
of your fucking mouth. So out of your mouth. He didn't say nothing.
He said fucking one. Fucking mouth. Yes,
okay, yes, that was
censored.
Was bleeped.
Yes, it was censored. But if you see the Canadian one, I saw it.
True.
It showed on the Canadian TV, but it didn't show in the US.
Same.
So yes, out of your fucking mouth, because he was quoting what Will said to Chris Rock when he slapped him at the Oscars. So
he smacked him. That's not beyond the slap. It was a smack.
Okay, cool.
Ish.
But yes,
and that was really funny.
What funny?
No, I mean that's what he said. I'm just.
It was funny, but I don't know.
Watching it, might actually laugh like this is.
You
really
think?
Funny. Yes.
You think?
That was funny.
I don't
Nobody
know,
even saw that coming.
Yeah, but I also felt like I didn't think that. I feel like he should have said more or said something different too, because you are receiving a lifetime achievement award. I feel like the environment, the atmosphere is one of people who are revering you, people are respecting you for what you've done over decades.
Yes. In the movie industry,
in the film industry, in the entertainment industry generally, because also a comedian as well. Even had a few albums, by the way. But yes, people are respecting you for that. So I would say that you should come, because you're a comedian, so I understand the jokes. But I think he should have said more, in the sense that you've had this really long career. Talk about what it means to you to have been able to achieve, like, especially as a black man in the US.
Yes.
Talk about the fact that your peers are looking right at you at that particular moment and
looking up to you.
Yes, and saying to you that, you know what, you have done
well
immensely well.
Yes.
Here. So talk about them as well. So but to just play it off and just make this joke, I like the joke.
You feel like he trivialized the situation?
Yes, I feel like that he cheapened what was a respectful moment to make this joke. So like I said, I'm fine with the joke. I just feel like you should say much more, because that's all he said. I mean, I feel like you should say much more than that, because like I said, it's a lifetime achievement award. That's a heavy.
Was just highlighted.
I think from what I saw, that was what he said.
And
I also read I also read the New York Times and the Guardian report. Nobody mentioned, they didn't say anything, maybe because it was such a catchy joke. But yeah, because nobody else mentioned that. And I saw the video as well, and it seemed like after he said that, he was waiting for the applause, and then that was it. So I don't know, but it looked like it. And so I just feel like, dude, man, I really would have wanted if you had something to say, especially as to younger black, exactly, even black or white, whatever, pink actors. But that's like an important thing that happened. So treat it with that kind of seriousness. But Eddie Murphy will be Eddie Murphy. Oh, he has a film coming out, by the way, on Netflix. I think later this month or next month, with this funny white guy, Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill. I think Regina, not Regina Daniel. Regina Hall. I think Regina Hall is the one in the Scary movies, the funny one. Yes, so I think Regina Hall.
Okay.
Yes, so apparently his daughter is bringing home a white guy that she wants to date or marry. So anyway, that's kind of what it is. So yeah,
looking forward to that.
Looking forward to that. So yeah, the Golden Globes. Well, people won, a few people lost.
Go and check. Go and read the who won. Let's quickly take the last story for the day. For the episode. Meek Mill
shooting a video at the.
So is that Meek Mill's problem? Is this his fault?
It is everybody's fault.
Okay, what exactly is the problem here?
Okay,
that
as a human being, yes, you're going to shoot a music video at a country's
presidential
first house, so to speak. It feels to me like you are belittling that, because no African will go and do that sort of thing at the White House. They wish they could, but it's not going to happen. You get, on the one hand, and two, the people there not understanding what was happening, because I saw part of the video and I'm like, wait, what did they think was happening when he was doing all of this?
Exactly.
Take this guy's
Did they think
camera.
he was on Instagram live?
I don't know.
What protocol was because no matter who you are, you're supposed to.
Or maybe it was like in a common area, because I'm thinking now that when Kanye West went to Trump and cameras were like taking whatever when he was shaking Trump and everything. What if he just spat a verse randomly and then took it and put it? Because to be honest, I don't understand how that thing happened, but it is just ridiculous to me. I don't know how it happened, but Americans, the kind of power, exactly, guts that they have, because of what their country is. If Africa,
but I still don't blame the guy. Like I said, I feel like, look, for everybody that went in there with him, on that day, anybody that would have picked up their camera or their phone to record themselves doing like this and put it later in the music video or wherever, it's still the same thing. That the fact that the security arrangement there did not restrict him from taking cameras or shooting or even making noise, even doing anything in the premises of
just the fact that, I understand. If funny, I feel that you can be in the Aso Rock and do a video and just be doing it. I think that's so better. But this one, somebody's apparently holding it away from him, and he's.
I thought it was really disrespectful.
I don't know. I'm not even sure how. I don't know. I feel like I want to just understand how that thing happened.
How he got to that point.
How? I can't. I don't know. I'm just stunned.
Anyway, so he has apologized.
Yeah, he has apologized.
So you Ghanaian people, Ghanaians, apology accepted or not? What can you possibly do? He's done it already. So are they going to take consider of the? But the video is not even out. So I don't think the video is out. But I think
I saw clips of the video already. I
don't know if it's officially out. Sometimes clips can actually people can show like coming soon or whatever. But as at the time of this particular,
yes, I apologize. Let's just say it probably would not be allowed to.
And, I don't know to come next. No, well he can visit.
He already come to Ghana, but I don't know that we'll get to the president.
He said next up with Nigeria. We'll be watching him. We're not even taking him to Aso Rock. You end up.
So that's the good thing, I guess. That Abuja is so far from Lagos that I'm not sure that it is possible. And again, let's
end up in Lagos and go back to his country.
Buhari does not care about rappers.
He does. We don't even know them. I mean, someone look and take a selfie.
Yes, maybe. But Buhari doesn't care about rappers.
Yeah, so I think that's it for our show for this.
Yes, I think we have come to the end of today's show.
Subscribe, comment, like. Let us know what you think about the show. Let us know what you think about the topics.
Exactly. If you want us to address certain topics,
let us know. Yes, you can send it.
James knows everything.
Yes, send it on the comment section.
Always find a way to discuss it on the show. And until next week.
Thank you for watching. Peace.